Which crypto is the best to retire in 2026? In this video, we will be breaking down 9 different cryptos in 7 different countries and how to retire on them. And we will also be ranking them with 5 different categories and then determine a winner. So for those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Ben. I've made over 6 figures trading crypto. I'm a full-time trader and I want to teach you guys everything that I know. Let's go. A little warning, this video is going to be very fast-paced and it's just going to be a lot of numbers. So if you need to take a break or pause the video or rewind it, feel free to do so. And also, since I will be breaking down 9 different cryptos in 7 different countries, it's going to be really fast. And so if you would like me to do individual videos on each coin, I can go into much more detail and have a lot more time, because I don't want this to be a 2-hour video, which it totally could be if I did break down everything and took a very long time on each coin. And if you don't already know this, I love math and I love numbers. Ever since I was little in elementary school, I remember doing those multiplication tables. You'd have like 60 to 100 questions, and you try to do them as fast as you can. Those were my favorite thing, and I was always just speeding through and trying to be the fastest one doing those. The even more nerdy thing about me is when I was in like 4th or 5th grade, I started writing down numbers like 1, 2, so on, and just wanted to see how high of a number I could get to by writing it down on pieces of paper. And I got all the way up to like 60 to 70,000 before I lost those papers. All right, here we go. How to retire on crypto by 2026, featuring Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, XRP, Polkadot, Link, CRO, and Algo. So we're going to start with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, to be part of the 1%, you've heard of the 1% holders, and this is over the world. You need to own 0.24 BTC. In order to join that club, that would cost you about $11,040 today at the time of this recording. And if you own more than 0.24 Bitcoin, congrats, you own more than 99% of the world. And now we're going to look at how much to be in the 1% club based on Bitcoin holders. And so this is based on their addresses. And so right here you can break down how many addresses hold this amount of Bitcoin, up to 0.001, between 0.001 to 0.01, and so on. And so if you look at the number of addresses, so you can see between 1 through 10, it's 1.71%. And so what I did to find that 1% is I went through that category 1 through 10. And then so what I did is I got that 1 through 10 row. It's about 2.56 Bitcoin on average for those amount of addresses divided by the total. And then what I did is I divided it by that percentage, that 0.1%, so 0.0171, and then I times it by 100 to get an accurate amount for the amount to get the top 1%. And so in order to be part of that 1%, you would need at least 1.49 Bitcoin. And of course, these numbers are going down more and more and more. Like last time I checked this, they were a lot lower. Last time I checked this, you needed about double or triple the amount of Bitcoin to be in the top 1%. So with more and more people coming in, those averages are being brought down. Now we're moving on to a forecast based on percentage returns in 2021. So in 2021, at the time of this recording, Bitcoin's at 46,000. And since the beginning of this year, it has had a 57% return. So we're taking that number and we're applying it to every year after this just to get an average. So if we got a 57% return on average for the next 5 years, we would see Bitcoin at $438,989. Moving on. So now these are my price predictions between 2021 and 2026. So we have a forecast. So let me just break down what these mean. BTC forecast, that's what we just went over. IBT bearish prediction. IBT is just I've been trading, so that's my bearish prediction for Bitcoin. And so I put it at 64,000 for this year, which is basically where we hit. So if my bearish prediction would be that we already hit the top. My regular prediction would be about 92,000. And that's because 100,000 is going to be a big level of resistance. People are saying we're going to get past 100,000, so I think we might get close to it but not break it. And then my bullish prediction is 120,000. And then you can see throughout all the years, my predictions are between 250,000 and 400,000 for 2026. So we're going to take that and move on to the next. Right here, I made this whole spreadsheet for each country, and this one is for the USA. And this one is for the United States. And basically the way to read this is I have all the years, and I have the years for 50 years for this is how much you need to retire, and it's for 50 years. And then next I have staking, 6.5%. It's based on the amount of staking rewards you get on crypto.com, which you can actually get 8.5% with the rose gold or icy white card. And then 1% of trades. And so what that means is by doing small amount of trades, you can add 1% to your portfolio. And then increased price of 2% per year. So that's just saying that Bitcoin will continue to go up at least 2% each year. And then appreciation from staking, this is how much you would earn from the staking, and it's added to the total. And then we account for inflation for 3%, so your expenses are going to go up by 3% every year. And then for expenses, what I did is I took the average salary for a US citizen, and then I times it by 2.5 to give you a lot of leeway. And so that's why the expenses are really high at $77,000, which comes out to about $6,500 a month. And then you would subtract that, and that would give you your end balance. And then also I did cash back from your crypto debit card. So I'm just saying, so for this table, I'm taking your expenses and I'm only taking about 30% of it because you can't use the crypto debit card on everything. So I'm just saying that you could use it on about 30% of it. And with the 5% back, this is what it would add on to your total. So then we would add that back onto the balance. And then so this is the balance with all those things applied. There's also a balance without staking applied, and there's also one without trading. Now that we know how to analyze this chart, I'm going to start moving a little bit quicker through this chart. So I'm just going to tell you the totals that you would need. So for Bitcoin, you need about $1.1 million worth of Bitcoin by 2026. Without staking, you need about 3.75 million. Without trading, you need about 1.3 million. And then this is showing that every single year, if we went all the way through, it goes all the way down to 2075. And you could see that the total is finally at about 40,000. That's how long it would last. And I'm not going to show that on the rest of them. And then we go here, and this is going to tell you the exact amount of coins you would need to retire. And I'll explain what all these mean in this one, but like I said before, after this, I'll just start going through pretty quickly. So in here, I have all the different predictions, and based on those predictions and the amount you would need with staking or without staking, this is how much Bitcoin you would need. And so you can see for the forecast, you need 2.56, 4.21 for the bearish, and so on. And then an average of 3.23. Without staking, an average of 10.75. Without trading, an average of 3.76. And you can also see the monthly expense would be $6,486. That's 2.5 times the average salary. And your total expense for those 50 years would be about $8.8 million. And that's with the Bitcoin price at 46,000. So for those that want to look at these charts, I have them available on my Patreon, and you would be able to copy these charts, so then you can edit them and change the prices and then kind of play around with it. And so the average Bitcoin needed, like I said, is 3.23. Without staking is 10.75. Without trading is 3.76. So now, for the rest of the video, I'm just going to tell you the amount of dollars you would need by that year in 2026, and then the amount of Bitcoins that would be today. So now we're moving on to Canada. So you need about $1.04 million worth of Bitcoin. And then without staking, you need about 3.45 million. Without trading, you need about 1.21 million. Moving on. The amount of Bitcoins that you would need is 2.98. Without staking, you need 9.89. Without trading, you need 3.47. Now we're going to Puerto Rico. So we added Puerto Rico and Portugal because those are places that I would like to live in, and they're places that I would consider living in the future. And so for Puerto Rico, the Bitcoin balance that you would need is about 1.4 million. Without staking, you need about 4.6 million, and without trading, you need about 1.6 million. And for Puerto Rico, the average monthly expense I put at $8,021. Like I said, it's a lot higher than it needs. It's a lot higher than you probably need, but I just wanted to be a little bit more conservative and also account for medical, travel, taxes, all those things that are additional to living expenses. And so the average Bitcoin needed for this would be 3.99. Without staking, you need about 13.19 Bitcoin, and without trading, you need 4.16. Moving on to Portugal, you need about $900,000 worth of Bitcoin. You need about $3 million worth of Bitcoin without staking, and about 1.1 million without trading. So that comes out to 2.63 Bitcoin, and without staking, it's 8.67, and without trading, it's 3.05. Now we're moving on to the UK. So you need about $1.17 million worth of Bitcoin, and then you without staking it'd be 3.8 million, and then without trading it'd be 1.35 million. So then the average Bitcoin needed would be 3.35, without staking it'd be 11.04, and without trading it'd be 3.89. Moving on to Australia, you need about $1.22 million worth of Bitcoin, and without staking you need about $4 million worth, and without trading you need 1.14. And then for Australia you need about 3.5 Bitcoin, and without staking you need about 11.5 Bitcoin, and without trading you need about 4.06 Bitcoin. Now moving on to New Zealand, you need about $970,000 worth of Bitcoin. Without staking you need about 3.2 million. Without trading you need about 1.1 million. So that comes out to about 2.77 Bitcoin. Without staking you need about 9.17 Bitcoin, and without trading you need about 3.21 Bitcoin. So now we're moving on to rankings, and so for each coin I'm giving it a ranking, and these are the categories that I'm working with. So we have staking rewards, price predictions, percentage return in the past year, strength, and community backing the project. So staking rewards, we're just basing it on the staking rewards that we got for the coins, and so all of them are going to have different staking rewards. Bitcoin has 6.5%, so we put that at a 4 out of 5. The price predictions on the models that we created, we're giving it a 4 out of 5. It's pretty good price predictions. And then the percentage return in the past year, we're giving it a 3 out of 5 based on the other coins that have done better than Bitcoin. And then strength, for how long it's been around, and the project strength, we're giving it a 5 out of 5 because Bitcoin's the strongest, been around the longest. And then community back in the project, we're giving it a 4 out of 5. So for the total for Bitcoin, we're giving it a 20 out of 25. Now we're moving on to Ethereum. Right here, we're looking at the Ethereum against Bitcoin potential to figure out some price predictions. And so here in this picture, you can see in the beginning of 2018, it got to about 0.1 BTC, a little bit higher, all the way up to 0.14 BTC. And for those of you that don't know what that means, is that, if we compare that to now, it's at about 0.075 BTC. And so based on those numbers, we're going to make our predictions between if it was at 5% of Bitcoin, because just a couple months ago, it was all the way at 2 to 3%, and then got up to 5%, and then all the way up to almost 8%. So we're putting it between 5% of Bitcoin and then 10% of Bitcoin. So those are based on the Bitcoin prediction, and that's how we get those numbers. And then we have my bearish prediction, my regular prediction, and my bullish prediction. So the averages for these predictions are between 15,000 and about 30,000. So for ETH, to retire on ETH in the US, you need about $1.1 million worth of ETH. Without staking, you need about 3.75. Without trading, you need about 1.3. And this is also a 6.5% staking, just like with Bitcoin. So the amount of Ethereum you would need is 51.47. Without staking, you need about 171. And without trading, you need about 60. Moving on to Canada, you need about $1 million worth of Ethereum. Without staking, you need about 3.45 million. And without trading, you need about 1.21 million. And then the average Ethereum you'd need is about 48. And the average without staking is about 160. And the average without trading is about 55. Puerto Rico, you need about $1.4 million worth of Ethereum. And without staking, you need about 4.6 million. And without trading, you need about 1.62 million. So that comes out to about 64 Ethereum. And without staking, I guess you don't need anything. And without trading, I guess you don't need anything as well. So if you really want to retire, just go to Puerto Rico, and you don't need any Ethereum to go without staking or without trading. I'm just kidding. That was a typo. So you need about 210 Ethereum for without staking, and you need about 74 without trading. All right, moving on to Portugal, you need about $900,000 worth of Ethereum, and then without staking, you need about 3 million. Without trading, you need about 1.1 million. So that comes out to about 42 Ethereum, and without staking, you need about 140, and without trading, you need about 50. All right, now we're going to the UK, so you need about $1.2 million worth. Without staking, you need about 3.85 million, and without trading, you need about 1.4 million. So that comes out to about 53.48 Ethereum. Without staking, that comes out to about 180. Moving on to Australia, you need about $1.2 million worth of Ethereum. Without staking, you need about $4 million worth. Without trading, you need about $1.4 million worth. So that comes out to about 55 Ethereum. Without staking, you need about 180. And without trading, you need about 65. Moving on to New Zealand, you need about $1 million worth. And without staking, you need about 3.2 million. And without trading, you need about 1.1 million. So that comes out to about 44 Ethereum today, and about 150 without staking, and about 50 without trading. So moving on to Ethereum's rankings, we're giving it a 4 out of 5 on its staking rewards, because just like Bitcoin, it's getting about 6.5%. We're giving it a 4 out of 5 for its price predictions. We're pretty bullish. And taking these price predictions into account, I think they're also pretty conservative, but I'd much rather be conservative and be wrong, because then at the end of the day, we'll just be a lot more rich. And then the percentage return in the past year, we're giving it a 3 out of 5 because it's like Bitcoin. It's had a decent return, but not as good as some of these other altcoins. And then strength, for how long it's been around, we're giving it a 5 out of 5. It's been around for a really long time. And the community back in the project, we're giving it a 5 out of 5. So the total for Ethereum is 21 out of 25. Moving on to Cardano. So Cardano, at the end of the last bull run and at the beginning of 2018, it got up to as high as 7,500 Satoshis, like 7,000 Satoshis. And based off of that, since we are at like between 5,000 and 6,000 Satoshis right now, we're going to use that as our model. So we're saying 5,000 Satoshis for one and then 7,500 for the other to get our price predictions. And then so you can see our price predictions range between $10 and $25 for 2026. All right, now going on. All right, now, so, all right, to retire in the US, you would need about $1.4 million worth of Cardano. And the staking is also 5% on this. And looking at average prices and CRO's rewards, you would need the icy white or the rose gold to get 5%. And then without staking, you need about 3.75 million, and without trading, you need about 1.65 million. And so that comes out to about 78,000 Cardano and about 210,000 Cardano without staking and 93,000 without trading. Moving on to Canada, you need about $1.3 million worth, and without staking, you need about $3.45 million worth, and without trading, you need about $1.5 million worth. That comes out to about 72,000 Cardano. Without staking, you need about 194,000, and without trading, you need about 86,000. Now moving on to Puerto Rico, you need about $1.72 million worth, and without staking, you need about $4.6 million worth. Without trading, you need about $2 million worth. So that comes out to about 97,000 Cardano, and without staking, it comes out to about 260,000. Without trading, it comes out to about 115,000. Moving on to Portugal, you need about $1.1 million worth, and without staking, you need about $3 million worth, and without trading, you need about $1.35 million worth. So that comes out to about 64,000 Cardano, and without staking, about 170,000, and without trading, about 75,000. Moving on to the UK, you need about $1.4 million worth. Without staking, you need about $3.85 million worth. Without trading, you need about $1.7 million worth. So that comes out to about 81,000 coins. Without staking, you need about 216,000 coins. And without trading, you need about 96,000 coins. Moving on to Australia, you need about $1.5 million worth. Without staking, you need about $4 million worth. Without trading, you need about $1.8 million worth. And then that comes out to about 85,000 coins. And without staking, about 225,000 coins. And without trading, about 100,000 coins. And now moving on to New Zealand, you need about $1.2 million worth. And without staking, you need about $3.2 million worth. Without trading, you need about $1.4 million worth. So that comes out to about 67,000 coins. And then without staking, about 180,000. And without trading, about 80,000 coins. So for Cardano's rankings, we're giving it a 3 out of 5 for staking because it is 5%, so it's a little bit lower. Price predictions are a little bit lower than the others just because it has had a phenomenal year and gone up hundreds and hundreds of percentages. The percentage return this year, we're giving it a 5 out of 5 because it's been, just like I've been saying, it's been absolutely killing it. And the strength for the coin, it's been around a long time, so we're giving it a 5 out of 5 as well. And the community backing it is really, really strong, so we're giving that a 5 out of 5 as well. So the total is 21 out of 25. Moving on to Solana. So Solana has been breaking its all-time highs, and its Bitcoin potential has broken 400,000 Satoshis, and I believe right now it's around 300,000 Satoshis. So based off of that, we're putting the price predictions between 250,000 and 500,000 Satoshis. And you can see with these price predictions, the ranges for 2026 are between about $800 all the way up to $2,000. So the amount of Solana you need to retire in the US is about $1.1 million worth. Without staking, you need about $3.75 million worth. And without trading, you need about $1.31 million worth. And for staking Solana, on the average, I looked at all the different exchanges, and it said the average was about 6.5% for staking returns. So that comes out to about 900 Solana needed, and without staking, you need about 3,000. Without trading, you need about 1,000. Moving on to Canada, you need about $1 million worth of Solana. Without staking, you need about $3.5 million worth. Without trading, you need about $1.2 million worth. So that comes out to about 830 Solana. Without staking, it comes out to about 2,750. And without trading, you need about 1,000 Solana. Moving on to Puerto Rico, you need about $1.4 million worth of Solana. Without staking, you need about $4.6 million worth. And without trading, you need about $1.62 million worth. So that comes out to about 1,100 Solana. Without staking, you need about 3,700. And without trading, you need about 1,300. Moving on to Portugal, you need about $900,000 worth of Solana. And without staking, you need about $3 million worth. Without trading, you need about $1.1 million worth. So that comes out to about 731 Solana. And then without staking, you need about 2,400. And without trading, not staking again, you need about $850, or you need about 850 Solana. Probably a lot of typos in this because I spent a ton of time on it. Moving on to the UK, you need about $1.2 million worth of Solana. Without staking, you need about $3.85 million worth. Without trading, you need about $1.4 million worth. So that comes out to about 930 Solana. Without staking, you need about 3,100, and without trading, you need about 1,100. Moving on to Australia, you need about $1.2 million worth, and without staking, you need about $4 million worth, and without trading, you need about $1.4 million worth. And so that comes out to about 1,000 Solana, and without staking, about 3,200, and without trading, about 1,100. Moving on to New Zealand, you need about $1 million worth, and without staking, you need about $3.2 million worth. Without trading, you need about $1.1 million worth. So that comes out to about 770 Solana. Without staking, about 2,500, and without trading, you need about 900. So Solana's rankings, we're giving it a 4 out of 5 for staking, since it is 6.5%. We're giving it a price prediction of 3 out of 5, because similar to Cardano, it's been absolutely killing it the past year, and so the percentage returns have been insane. And so my price predictions are a little bit more conservative for the project because it had such a great year. And so the percentage return this year is a 5 out of 5. The strength for how long it's been around, I give it a 3 out of 5 because it's only been around about a year and a half. I gave it a 3 out of 5 because it's only been around about a year and a half, and that's the only reason. And then community back in the project, we're giving it a 5 out of 5. Very strong community. So that gives a total of 20 out of 25 for Solana. All right, moving on to XRP. So the Bitcoin potential. So in 2018 and 2017, we got all the way up to about 20,000 Satoshis, which is about a 10x from the price right now. But looking at the previous charts and looking at all the things going on with the SEC, I'm going to give it a little bit more of a bearish prediction between 2,500 and 5,000 Satoshis. So for my price predictions in 2026, it's between about $8 and up to about $15. So in the US, you need about $1.8 million worth. Also, the staking is 3.5 for the staking is also 3.5% for XRP, and without staking it's about 3.75 million, and without trading it's about 2.2 million. So the amount of XRP you need is about 140,000, and without staking about 300,000, without trading about 170,000. And moving on to Canada, you need about $1.6 million worth. Without staking, you need about $3.5 million worth, and without trading, you need about $2 million worth. So that comes out to about 130,000 coins. Without staking, you need about 280,000 coins, and without trading, you need about 160,000 coins. Puerto Rico, you need about $2.2 million worth. You need about $4.6 million worth without staking, and about $2.7 million worth without trading. So then that comes out to about 180,000 coins, 370,000 coins without staking, and without trading, you need about 215,000 coins. Moving on to Portugal, you need about $1.5 million worth of coins. You need about $1.5 million worth. Without staking, you need about $3 million worth. And without trading, you need about $1.8 million worth. So that comes out to about 120,000 coins and about 240,000 coins without staking, and about 140,000 coins without trading. And then in the UK, you need about $1.9 million worth. Without staking, you need about $3.9 million worth. And without trading, you need about $2.2 million worth. So that comes out to about 150,000 coins. And without staking, about 310,000 coins. Without trading, you need about 180,000 coins. So then moving on to Australia, you need about $1.9 million worth. Without staking, you need about $4 million worth. Without trading, you need about $2.3 million worth. So that comes out to about 150,000 coins. Without staking, about 320,000 coins. And without trading, about 190,000 coins. Moving on to New Zealand, you need about $1.5 million worth of XRP. Without staking, you need about 3.2 million. And without trading, you need about 1.9 million. So that comes out to about 120,000 XRP. Without staking, you need about 250,000. And without trading, you need about 150,000. So XRP, the rankings, I'm giving it a 2 out of 5 for staking because it is 3.5%. So it's the lowest one out of all the ones we do. Price predictions, I'm giving it a 5 out of 5 because it does have a good return for these price predictions that I've given it, between a 7 and a 15x for it. And the percentage return in the past year, I'm giving it a 1 out of 5 because ever since the SEC whole thing went down, it's really had a rough year and hasn't really moved that much. And then the strength for how long it's been around, since it has been around a long time, but since everything is going on with the SEC, I'm giving it a 1 out of 5. And that can easily change once it's flipped around and if everything goes well with it. Then the community backing the project, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5 because they do have a strong community, a lot of people, a lot of supporters. And so total for XRP, we're giving it 13 out of 25. All right, moving on to Polkadot. So for the Bitcoin potential, looking here in May, we saw it all the way up at like 95,000 Satoshis. And so based off of that, right now it's about 65 to 70,000 Satoshis. We're going to give it a range of 60,000 all the way up to 90,000 for our price predictions. So as you can see, our price predictions for Polkadot are between about $200 and $400 for 2026. And now for Polkadot in the US, so for the staking, I'm using 12.5%, which I know a lot of you are going to say that that's way too high, but on crypto.com, you can earn 12.5%, and you can even earn 14.5% if you have the IC White or the Rose Gold card. And I don't know how long that's going to last, but just with these numbers, this is what the results are. So for DOT, you need about $600,000 worth, and without staking, you need about $3.8 million worth. Without trading, you need about $700,000 worth. So that comes out to about 2,290. So that comes out to about 2,300 DOT, and without staking, about 14,000, and without trading, about 2,500. Moving on to Canada, you need about $560,000 worth. Without staking, you need about 3.4 million. Without trading, you need about 600,000. And it comes out to about 2,100 DOT. Without staking, you need about 13,000. Without trading, you need about 2,300. Moving on to Puerto Rico, you need about $750,000 worth. And without staking, you need about $4.6 million. And without trading, you need about $800,000 worth. So that comes out to about 2,800. And without staking, you need about 17,000. And without trading, you need about 3,100. Moving on to Portugal, you need about $500,000 worth. And without staking, you need about $3 million worth. Without trading, you need about $550,000 worth. So that comes out to about 1,800. That comes out to about 1,900 DOT, and without staking, you need about 11,000, and without trading, you need about 2,100. Moving on to the UK, you need about $650,000 worth. Without staking, about 4 million, and without trading, about $700,000 worth. So that comes out to about 2,400, and without staking, about 14,000. Without trading, about 2,600. Moving on to Australia, you need about 650,000, and without staking, you need about $4 million worth. And without trading, you need about $700,000 worth. So that comes out to about 2,500 DOT, and without staking, about 15,000, and without trading, about 2,700. Now moving on to New Zealand, you need about $500,000 worth, and without staking, about $3.2 million worth, without trading, about $600,000 worth. So that comes out to about $2,000. And so that comes out to about 2,000 DOT you would need, without staking about 12,000 DOT, and without trading about 2,001, and without trading about 2,200. So DOT's ranking, we're giving it a 5 out of 5 for staking because it is the highest one. And the price predictions, we're giving it a 4 out of 5 because it has pretty good potential. And the return in the past year, we're giving it a 4 out of 5 as well because it has done very well. The strength of the project, we're giving it a 3 out of 5 because it hasn't been around very long. It's been around for about a year now. And then the community backing the project, we're giving it a 3 out of 5 because I don't see it as strong of a community as these other coins. Now moving on to Chainlink, looking at the Bitcoin pair, we saw it go all the way up to about 160,000 Satoshis in August of last year, and then in May of this year, we saw it at about 100,000 Satoshis. So based on that, we're going to give it between 50,000 Satoshis and 100,000 Satoshis. And then you can see the price predictions are between $150 and about $300. All right, and so to retire on Chainlink in the US, you need about $1.4 million worth. And without staking, you need about $3.8 million worth. Without trading, you need about $1.7 million worth. And now the average amount of link you would need is about 5,800. Without staking, you need about 16,000. And without trading, you need about 7,000. More typos. And now Canada, you need about $1.3 million worth. Without staking, you need about $3.4 million worth. And without trading, you need about $1.5 million worth. So that comes out to about 5,400 link. Without staking, you need about 15,000. And without trading, you need about 6,400. Moving on to Puerto Rico, you need about $1.7 million worth. Without staking, you need about $4.6 million worth. And without trading, you need about $2 million worth. Also for Chainlink, the percentage for staking is 5%, just like Cardano. And now the average link you would need is about 7,200, about 19,000 without staking, and about 8,500 without trading. Moving on to Portugal, you need about $1.1 million worth. Without staking, you need about $3 million worth, and without trading, you need about $1.3 million worth. So that comes out to about 4,800 link, and about 13,000 without staking, and about 5,600 without trading. Moving on to the UK, you need about $1.4 million worth. Without staking, you need about $3.8 million worth, and without trading, you need about $1.7 million worth. So the average link you would need is about 6,100, and without staking, you need about 16,000, and without trading, you need about 7,200. Moving on to Australia, you need about $1.5 million worth, and without staking, you need about $4 million worth, and without trading, you need about $1.8 million worth. So the average link needed is about 6,300. Without staking, you need about 17,000, and without trading, you need about 7,500. Moving on to New Zealand, you need about $1.2 million worth, and without staking, you need about $3.2 million worth, and without trading, you need about $1.4 million worth. So that comes out to about 5,000 link, and without staking, about 13,000, and without trading, about 6,000. So for Chainlink, we're giving it a ranking of 3 out of 5 for staking rewards because it's 5%. And price predictions, we're giving it a 3 out of 5. It's a little bit lower than the other ones. And its return in the past year, we're giving it a 4 out of 5 because it's done extremely well. Strength, we're giving it a 5 out of 5. It's been around for a long time. And the community backing the project, we're giving it a 4 out of 5 as well. So the total is 19 out of 25. Moving on, we got 2 left. Moving on, Algo. We have in August of 2020, it got up to about 6,000 Satoshis. Its all-time high in Satoshis was about 20,000, but that's when it first came out in 2019. And so it just started at a really high price, and that's why the Bitcoin pair was a lot higher. Right now we're about that 5,000 to 6,000 range, and so we're going to actually put it a little bit lower. We're going to put it between 3,000 and 4,500 Satoshis. And so as you can see for the predictions for Algo, it's about between $10 and $25. All right, so you need about $1.4 million worth of Algo to retire in the US, and about $3.8 million without staking, and $1.7 million without trading. And the staking is about 5% as well. So that comes out to about 88,000 coins, without staking about 240,000, and without trading about 104,000. Now moving on to Canada, you need about $1.3 million worth. Without staking, you need about $3.5 million worth, and without trading, you need about $1.5 million worth. So the average algo needed is about 81,000. Without staking, you need about 218,000. Without trading, about 96,000. Moving on to Puerto Rico, you need about $1.7 million worth. Without staking, you need about $4.6 million worth. And without trading, you need about $2 million worth. So the average algo you need is about 110,000. And without staking, you would need about 290,000. without trading, you need about 130,000. So then moving on to Portugal, you need about $1.1 million worth, and without staking, you need about $3 million worth, and without trading, you need about $1.3 million worth. All right, and that comes out to about 72,000 coins, and then without staking, you need about 190,000 coins, and without trading, you need about 85,000 coins. Moving on to the UK, you need about $1.4 million worth. Without staking, you need about $3.8 million worth, and without trading, you need about $1.7 million worth. So that comes out to about 91,000 coins, and without staking, you need about 240,000 coins, and without trading, you need about 108,000 coins. Moving on to Australia, you need about $1.5 million worth. Without staking, you need about $4 million worth, and without trading, about $1.8 million worth. So that comes out to about 95,000 coins, 250,000 without staking, and 112,000 without trading. Lastly, for New Zealand, you need about $1.2 million worth, and without staking, about $3.2 million worth, and without trading, about $1.4 million worth. So that comes out to about 76,000 coins, about 202,000 coins without staking, and about 90,000 coins without trading. So Algo's rankings, we're giving it a 3 out of 5 for the staking because it's 5%, and the price predictions, we're giving it a 3 out of 5, and then the percentage return in the past year, we're giving it a 3 out of 5 because I think it was around, and the percentage return, we're giving it about a 3 out of 5 because I think it's done about a 2 or 3x, and then the strength, we're giving it a 4 out of 5 because it has been around a little bit longer than some of the other coins, but it started in like 2019, so it hasn't been around as long as some of the other as well. And then community backing the project, we're giving it a 2 out of 5 because I haven't really heard of like a strong algo community. I haven't really seen a lot of people talking about it very much on social media and stuff, and so I just assume the community isn't quite as strong as some of these other coins. And so for the total for algo, we're giving it 15 out of 25. Moving on to CRO. CRO against Bitcoin in August of last year, we saw its Bitcoin price at about 1,600 Satoshis. Right now we're at about between 350 and 400 Satoshis. So based off of that, I made my predictions between 500 Satoshis and 1,000 Satoshis. And so my predictions for CRO are between $1.50 and about $4 in 2026. And I know a lot of you think that's super conservative, but like I said before, I'd rather be conservative and be wrong and be making that much more. So for CRO to retire in the US, so let me just say the staking is 8% for this, and I know you can get even more. Like if you use the card, you have 10%, and then if you upgrade to the IC White and Rose Gold, it's 12%, and also for Crypto Earn with the IC White or Rose Gold, it's 8%, and that's why I have 8% here because I'm just using the lowest one. And so the balance, you would need about $900,000 worth for it. Without staking, you need about $3.8 million worth, and without trading, about $1.1 million worth. And that comes out to about 310,000 coins, and without staking, about $1.2 million, and without staking, about $1.2 million, and without staking, about 1.2 million coins, and without trading, about 350,000 coins. Moving on to Canada, you need about $900,000 worth as well, and then you need about $3.5 million worth for without staking, and about $1 million worth without trading. And that comes out to about 286,000 coins, about 1.1 million coins without staking, and without trading about 326,000. Moving on to Puerto Rico, you need about $1.2 million worth, without staking about $4.6 million worth, and without trading about $1.3 million worth. So this comes out to about 380,000 coins, about 1.5 million coins without staking, and about 435,000 coins without trading. Moving on to Portugal, you need about $750,000 worth, without staking about $3 million worth, without trading about $900,000 worth. So that comes out to about 250,000 coins, and without staking about 1 million coins, and without trading about 290,000 coins. Moving on to the UK, you need about $1 million worth, and moving on to the UK, you need about $1 million worth, and without staking about $3.8 million worth, and without trading about $1.1 million worth. So that comes out to about 320,000 coins, without staking about 1.3 million coins, without trading about 360,000 coins. Moving on to Australia, you need about $1 million worth of CRO, without staking about $4 million worth, and without trading about $1.2 million worth. So that comes out to about 335,000 coins, and without staking about 1.3 million, and without trading about 380,000. All right, last one. So for New Zealand, you would need about $800,000 worth of CRO, without staking about 3.2 million, and without trading about 900,000. So that comes out to about 265,000 CRO needed, without staking about 1 million coins, and without trading about 300,000 coins. So here are the rankings for CRO. I'm giving it a 5 out of 5 for staking because it's one of the best staking. And then price predictions are giving it a 5 out of 5 because it has a ton of potential. It's really it's really underperformed the past year or so. And so I think it has a lot of potential in the future. Percentage return, we're giving it a 2 out of 5 because it hasn't performed very well compared to these other coins. Strength, we're giving it a 4 out of 5 because it's been around since like 2018, end of 2018, beginning of 2019. And the community backing the project, we're giving it a 4 out of 5. And so the total is 20 out of 25. So looking at the rankings comparison, we have all of these comparisons and the totals, and the winners of this are Ethereum and Cardano with 21 points. And in second place we have Bitcoin, Solana, and CRO. So all these coins are really good and really good ones to hold. And I think that Ethereum and Cardano are one of the best ones based on all these rankings. And then based on all the other things, all the math and my price predictions, we have CRO, DOT, and BTC at the top for the regular ones without staking. We have CRO, XRP, and Link. And then without trading, we have CRO, DOT, and BTC. So in conclusion, my favorite one. So in conclusion, I think that Ethereum is the best one to retire on, and Cardano as well. And then in third place, I would have to give it to CRO because CRO is one of the best performing. And honestly, all these coins are so good, and you should be holding all of these coins, and you could retire on all of them. Like I think Bitcoin, Polkadot, and CRO are some of my favorite coins that have my biggest positions in right now, and all these coins will be amazing ones to retire on. And now to help you get to that retirement amount and those amount of coins that you would need, trading has helped me get to that point and making tons more coins and growing my portfolio. So you can check out my course down below if you're interested in learning how I grew my portfolio by a lot and teaching the students that I have. And you can also check out my Patreon to download all these links and all these spreadsheets that I have on there that are available to all Patreons. And then you can put in your own prices and mess with it and see what it would look like. And please drop a like on this video because we put in a ton of work, about over 100 hours making these spreadsheets and so on. And if you guys love this video, you're gonna love this video right here. It's my 6 biggest tips and tricks to being a better trader and to making a lot more. And it's gonna make you a lot more money and get you to this point where you can have enough coins to retire on. So check this video out next. And remember, as always, keep it in the green.